What's up, guys? It's your favorite twins, and today we're talking about JT's debut mixtape, City Cinderella.
We all know JT from the City Girls, and you know, this doesn't necessarily come as a shock in the sense of her having a solo project, because I feel like she was hinting at it with the amount of features that she was doing.
Definitely.
Some very notable ones, might I add, as Alter Ego has been played in this house a numerous amount of times. I'm excited for JT. I feel like you can tell JT has a real love for the craft and appreciation for the craft, and hey, maybe that's what being incarcerated does. It just allows you to focus a little bit more. But I was very excited coming into this project.
I feel like JT's always been a prominent voice in hip-hop, especially for female rap, so I'm excited to see her kind of embark on this new journey of cultivating her own lane, her own brand, and really being her own image. Love to Carisha, alright, shout out to Young Miami, but we are going to be digging into City Cinderella. We did listen to the project off camera, so we just figured we'd talk about it with you guys.
But before we get into the tracks, let's talk about this cover.
This cover. What can I say about this cover? This is definitely, hands down, one of my favorite covers by a female rapper.
Yes.
I think that it's so simple, but it's striking. It's gorgeous, but it makes a statement. You think about City Cinderella, the story of Cinderella. She's got the blonde hair, she's got the tiara, she's got the glass body,
which
right?
is
that's just genius.
So,
resembling the glass slipper, and then even has the glass stiletto, right? Departing from her leg. I just think that that's just some perfect imagery.
Yeah, when this cover dropped, my mouth dropped to the floor, actually, just because I didn't expect how simple but elegant and creative it was. Keep this creativity, keep this up, okay?
The mixtape sees JT kind of return to roots, Miami roots, which was, refreshing, I feel like. We definitely know JT for being that bitch. But going into this, I was very excited to hear maybe a more vulnerable side. Hear a little bit more about her life. Yes. It consists of 16 tracks, which I feel is pretty good for a mixtape.
Especially because I feel like most mixtapes have like 20 songs.
Yeah, especially back in the day.
Back in the day. So I feel like 16 was a good choice.
This was a very solid debut. All right, I feel like it kept a very street feel, but it saw JT step into more of a mature sound. Yes. The hooks are hard, right? I felt like there were a lot of hard hooks on the mixtape, but I did feel like some verses fell short, and especially toward the end of the album, the songs got shorter. And I felt like maybe we were rushing, got a little lazy. Right. But the high moments are really high. Very high. It is important to note the time frame of the project's making. Yes. All right, we were kind of down to the wire here. Yes. So I think with that in mind, she did a very good job at still keeping it solid.
Which, to piggyback off of that, I'm very glad that JT made that clear, because if this were to have that album title, I feel like this would be a very different review. But the fact that JT addressed the time frame, it was a little bit more rushed. She didn't take as much time as she would have wanted to. Slapping the title, this is a mixtape, gives a very different expectation. It presents a very different expectation.
You put on a different ear.
Yes.
Especially if you're familiar with hip-hop, you know that mixtapes are more free. There's not really a formula. I do wish the content matter was a little more expansive, but I do feel it's a great mixtape and could have been an even better album.
I feel like with the title City Cinderella, by the end of the album, you really understand what that means and the play on that title. I'm glad that I was at least able to walk away with that understanding. I didn't listen to it in the car. Okay, we didn't listen to it together.
We didn't.
So that kind of allowed us to form our own opinions. I do wish there were a couple of heavy hitters. I like more heavy hitters when it came to the features, but that's just something minute, and I feel like she can put more emphasis on for the actual album.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I feel like this is one of the strongest projects by a female rapper in the last 3 years. If this is your first introduction to JT, I think it's guaranteed to make you stay. Prior to the album, she put out Sideways and Okay. I feel like those were two great choices. Yes. I was wishing that No Bars was a part of the project. I understand why it wasn't.
I know.
But I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like that would have been a nice, wholesome moment.
Do you feel like that kind of put JT on the map in terms of more like the TikTok, era of music and how fast it gains traction? Because that, No Boss. Like, that was very prominent on TikTok.
Sure. But I do think that JT really held this project down. Now, you guys know, we always come out of these projects with a top 5. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a little tough to narrow down what my top 5 was gonna be.
It was.
But I think we got some solid lists here.
Okay, let's hear this top 5.
Number 1 is the intro. I love the intro. It's a 10 out of 10. It had great storytelling. I love the beat. Off rip, JT was opening up about her life, and that's what I wanted. I realized I actually love and might prefer JT on some old boom bap classic style hip-hop beats.
Absolutely.
She really carries them well.
Absolutely.
Definitely one of my favorite choruses, and that no bars, 500,000 sold.
What?
Perfect. Next is Okay. I just love that song. I don't even have anything to say about it. I think that it's catchy. Yeah. It's a hit. I think it might be the best song off the album, in my personal opinion. Listen, I didn't come here to debate. I didn't come here to fight.
We all make choices.
I didn't come here to fight. Just the chorus, lyrics, attitude, everything behind it. Even the remix with Jeezy, like, it was just a great song. Next is Star of the Show. Star of the Show is the closer, and just like the intro, she ends it strong. It's 10 out of 10. It felt more classic once again. It also reminds us why we love JT. Yeah. And helps us embrace her in a more mature way once again. Like the intro, skill was on full display, and that I can appreciate, especially as a lyricist and a lover of hip-hop. Next is Uncle Al. And she needs to make this a single. Alright, there was a part of the album, 90s Baby, Uncle Al, Okay, Sideways. That whole section was very close, much closer to mainstream. And I'm glad that we can see JT kind of turn that on and off. It was a great use of a sample and displayed some versatility.
Oh my God, yeah.
And the word of the day is versatility. Now, my fifth track, right, this was tough. I'm gonna say Sway.
Okay.
I don't know if that's gonna be controversial.
Okay.
But it's more of a deep cut. But it was one of my favorites. You better sway where you see me, ho. She came at somebody with a man voice. I feel like there was a lot of grit to this one. Yeah. But another song I love, and it's kind of like neck and neck, JT Coming. Yes. I love JT Coming.
I'm actually shocked I didn't hear JT
I know. But Swang, I think Swang was more fully developed. Yeah. But JT Coming is, that's my shit. That's my shit.
My top 5 isn't in any kind of order except for the first song. Okay. And my favorite song on this album is Uncle Al. I was in the car listening. I almost hit my brakes. I texted Jordan like, yo, this is a hit. JT's got a hit. Like, Uncle Al, I probably played that song 5 times minimum a day. And you know, JT is not the best singer, but for that song, it worked. Like, I didn't need perfect vocals. I just needed heavily mixed vocals. Like, I just...
heavily mixed. Just put the effects on.
Everything about that worked. Something like an SRT. Coming in at a very close second is actually the intro. And that's what made me hooked and open myself up to what JT's gonna say. That intro, that's one of the best I've heard since, like, I'm the best. Next is JT Coming. I love JT Coming. Because JT's coming.
JT's coming.
And that's
JT's here.
And that's really my takeaway from the entire song. But I think it's super catchy. This might be, I'm not gonna say controversial because I feel like a lot of people like the song. I love Lemon Pepper. Put some lemon pepper on my wings, ho. I love that song. I think it's playful. It shows, again, a more playful side. At number 5, there's a lot because I couldn't make my mind up. I really love Okay. I really love Sideways, but I also love 90s Baby. Yeah. And I think I want to give it to 90s Baby because the other 2 were singles.
That's fair. That's fair.
But that's my top 5. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Solid. Overall, I think you and I kind of share the same top 5s. Yeah. But I think we have the same vision. But then there were other tracks I loved, like D.O.D. I loved that.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
D.O.D. was good.
Red Flowers is another one that I loved. 90s Baby. Lemon Pepper, look, there was a Suki shot in there from Stunna.
Stunna caught me off guard in general. Yeah, I thought Stunna's verse was very good.
I think the verses on that song were good, but the beat and pace was low-key boring, I'm not gonna lie. Another thing I loved about this album was with DJ Khaled, alright? Maybe not the full song, okay, but in the beginning there was a narration from Queen, the Cinderella-inspired introduction from the fairy godmother. I thought that was genius. It kept the theme going. Those are things that I appreciate. You don't play with a Cinderella theme and then never revisit
Never incorporate it.
So I love how she related herself to Cinderella and the Cinderella story. There's a glow up like Cinderella, you know?
And to me it's saying, I'm the city's Cinderella.
Exactly. I just think it's so fitting. So I really appreciate that. The only song I would have left in the studio on the hard drive and then lost it was All Stars.
I don't think I would have even brought it to the table.
I just, you know, we all have that one song.
But I mean, I think that goes to show you that we don't have many misses on this album. The fact that there's only one song that we would have left off says a lot about JT's ear for music.
For sure. Overall, we're giving this project a 7.5. I feel like for your debut mixtape, that's really good. I feel like JT shows a lot of promise. I also want to highlight this. The rollout for this album. The way that she was playing clubs and going to events, that I appreciate.
Was it the cookouts?
Cookouts, clubs, underground. She ran the underground circuit, which is something we don't really see anymore. Yes. She's really building herself figuratively from the ground up. But I like how JT is really doing the work and laying the groundwork to build a fan base.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
And I do want to give a big congratulations because there's a lot of talk of numbers and all that, and we're not really a fan of that. But I just want to say 27,000 copies for your first week, and it's you stepping into this newfound
freedom, staging your career.
Yes, that's big. I think just to debut on the 200 is huge. Congrats to JT.
Yeah,
I think that's a big deal. As always, we'd love to know what you guys thought about City Cinderella. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments.
If you enjoyed watching this review, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications, that way you know when we upload, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.